To me,
To me,
sometimes it
sometimes it
feels
feels
like
like
like we're
we're
always in a
always in a
practice.
practice.
Like
Like
it's
it's
all a
all a
practice.
practice.
I like it. Yes. Now see that. That's a good point. And our masters have discussed this issue a lot. When we say we are always in practice, then we are living not by the impulsive and instinctive mind. We are not living by hook or crook. We are not living the moment we have an anxiety and that anxiety continues. No, we are not living impulsively, we are not living instinctively, we are not living habitually. So we are able to maintain awareness. What does it mean? I'm living consciously. That is one part of the practice. So I'm living consciously in every event, in every relation, in every situation. Clear? So once we are living consciously, what it means, I'm aware of the entry and the exit points. They are guarded. Why they are guarded? Anxiety comes, you have no entry. Fear comes, no entry. Exit in peace and calm. That is the meaning of living consciously. So then what happens? When we are living consciously, then there is a joy of conscious living. I wonder if you listen to these audio files that I sent to you. I named it Joy of Conscious Living.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
saw
saw
that.
Huh? I have,
But
yeah.
Well,
well,
I
I
feel
feel
like,
like,
and I
and
know
I
you
know you
tell me
tell
like
me
we
like
have
we
to
have
do
to do
things in
things in
stages, but
stages, but
like
like
I
I
feel like
feel
I'm
like I'm
ready to
ready
go
to go
deeper to
deeper
like
to like
learn
learn
more
more
about
about
like
like
what this
what
is
this is
all
all
about,
about.
because like
Because
I
like I
still
still
think
think
what
what
I'm
I'm
struggling
struggling
with
with
is
is
that
that
I'm
I'm
still
still
living my
living my
life
life
like
like
as a
as a
separate
separate
being.
being.
Like
Like
I'm
I'm
still
still
thinking that
thinking that
I
I
am
am
Nick,
Nick.
I am
I
the
am the
human
human
body.
body.
The
The
human
human
body
body
dies,
dies,
I
I
die.
die.
So I
So I
still
still
think
think
sometimes
sometimes
I
I
get
get
stuck in
stuck in
that
that
illusion.
illusion.
And I
And I
know
know
that
that
there's
there's
more
more
to
to
that. And
that.
I
And I
know
know
you
you
know
know
something
something
that
that
you're
you're
not
not
telling
telling
me.
me.
No, that is not the way. Your mind is not reaching to a level of awareness where you have rejected the notion that I am not the body. That is blocking you. I have been saying in almost every session that you are a real self, you are a pure consciousness. So your mind picks up this teaching with reference to the body, not with reference to the pure consciousness. So that objection of your mind is nothing what we say the ignorance of the mind, the impurity of the mind, impurity of the mind. So that is why we teachers of the Eastern wisdom constantly talk and help the seekers to understand that what exactly is blocking. You see that, you come to my house, you knock the door. So I just open the door. That is a blockage, and you simply enter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are removing that blockage. So that blockages are of many types. One, if the impurity is that I'm attached to the body, my mind cannot think beyond, can I be free without the body? The moment I'm the body, then what happens? The impulsive and instinctive reaction that has been accumulated for years are ready to act. that causes lot of distractions. That is another problem. That veils the real self. So the mind is constantly engaged in these impurities and the distractions. That is why your mind says, you are not telling me. So that mind, which is superimposed by the wrong notion, claims you are not telling me. So for that, it does not mean that when I achieve the highest state of mindfulness, I will stop eating, I can remain hungry for years. That is a crazy stuff. The same way, you have a body, yes. You have a mind, yes. The body needs a regular routine. So when you do the regular practice, it adds up. It helps you to add to the another level of awareness.
Okay.
So that is, after all, we eat every day. We breathe every moment. Do you say that let me give a break for 10 minutes, I will not breathe? So why not our mind understand that, okay, I have to do the practice every day, come whatever, come what may. So that resolution by the mind starts changing the mind. Now see
Don't you
the
have to know why you feel a certain way? Like, don't you have to know why you believe in something? Like why do I believe in this and not Christianity or atheism or Buddhism?
Very good question. Beautiful question. So our belief should support the knowledge. The belief should not support the blind faith. In all the religions, we say there is a hell and heaven. Nobody has seen hell and heaven. Nobody can really authenticate and put any reasoning. Every priest, you go there, or you will go to hell and you will go to heaven. So why don't you say to the priest that, are you also ready to go to hell or heaven? Do you know? So our belief should be based on pending inquiry. Our belief should not be based on simple jargon in the statement coming from any cult, dogma, religion. Why? We are given an intellect to reason out, to filter out what is blindness in it. So Eastern wisdom says that we have to do a self-inquiry. We have to do a self-discovery. So whether it is a discovery or an inquiry, we have to use the intellect. We never say you should have a blind belief. That is why you should follow Eastern wisdom. It is based on pure knowledge.
Okay.
And it has only two goals, very clear. If you know 100%, then who you are, you have no problem.
Why?
Very good. If you know you are peace and happiness, so you have no problem, because every time you recognize you are peace and happiness, your anxiety and the reaction and the anger will not touch you. So you know yourself, you know the God. This is what we confirm. But now see the other side of the equation. You started discovering and you have found out that you are made up of unhappiness, for example. So what will happen when you are unhappy? You are happy being unhappy because now you have found yourself. There is no way my unhappiness can go away. So this is the answer why when I realize and discover the ultimately who am I? If I am peace and happiness, anxiety and suffering will not touch me. But if I am unhappy, I am made up of unhappy, then there is no way to be happy. So it's purely logical. So I have answered you why we should follow. So what is the only one goal? Who am I? Find out who am I. So then the masters say, all the masters, these 3,000 masters, including Buddha, and then we go to the China, even take up the Jesus, love is God. He came out with that statement after realizing who is he. We say he is the Son of God. Our saying does not mean anything unless we realize. I've never seen the God. I simply claim he is the Son of God. Why? I should inquire. With due respect to all the religions. We have not to go there. Second point is that once I know who I am, that brings an end to the suffering. I know who I am. I know I am peace and happiness, so forget about suffering. And even when I have a suffering, knowledge is already realized I am peace and happiness. I will instantly find out this is the cause, this is the reason. And I know how to get out of the reason.
Okay.
So knowledge is realized in stages. Yes, yes.
Girish, what about like all the thoughts I have, like the big like how did all this get created? How did the animals and the mountains and the ocean and how is all of this how does all of this created? How is this here?
Wonderful. First thing, we have to look into the question and find out if that question will help me knowing myself, or is it a distraction? If it is a distraction, we will leave that question until we find ourselves. That is one way to answer this. Second way to answer, we see the millions of so-called creation. So the moment I say they all are creation, it means I know the creator. Otherwise, I cannot say that this is a creation.
Yeah.
So I don't know the creator and still I say they all are creation. So I start asking the question with a wrong notion. And that is why nobody is able to solve and nobody is able to give the answer of this question. Did you understand? I say this is the mountains and all these mosquito and the living elephants and all the living species are all creation. The moment I say they are creation, I know who is the creator. But the problem is that I don't know the creator. So it becomes a problem of which one is before, egg or the chicken. So then I am caught in the delusion. And then I ask the question, is it necessary to find what is happening outside, or it is important to find who am I first?
So Eastern wisdom teaches to find who you are.
Who I am. The first question is important. Who am I?
Correct.
Second question is what is this world? Then it comes out to the world.
Oh,
And
so okay. So that is a question in Eastern wisdom. What is this world?
yeah.
Okay.
And then it goes to the question that what is the foundation of who am I and the world? Means what is this existence?
Okay.
So once we solve these three questions, when we find an intimate relationship between the three, in between we find also what is the God. What is the God? What is the
Why
God?
haven't I found any of this? I haven't found any of it.
No, what we have not found anyone. So we start with discovery, self-inquiry on who I am. So to inquire self-discovery or to inquire who I am, the way if I go to a physics class, so I should have a little orientation about the physics. Similarly, we say to find out who am I, Eastern wisdom says, check yourself. Are you qualified? Do you know the terminology to discover who you are? Are you ready to find out? Do you know the power of discernment? Do you know how to define the ultimate truth? How to define what is false? How to define, because if you do not understand what is false, what is truth, how can you find who am I? So there is a kind of inner orientation. So inner orientation may, or simply say orientation, it means that I should have a power of discernment, I should have a power of dispassion. In a scientific experiment, they always write this experiment is done without any bias, unbiased. So, how I get biased? By getting emotionally dependent. How I get emotionally dependent? By having an impulsive and instinctive nature, because I have to find out myself unbiased. So that is why those inner orientation are required. So that is why we need to practice daily, and especially these meditation practices which I give you. Every day you are doing it, and after a couple of weeks and months regularly, your mind reminds you, no, I have to do this practice. Why I am doing the practice? Because I remain relaxed, calm, free from anxiety throughout the day. I have a less fatigue level. But why I need that? Because I live in a higher level of awareness. Why I need a higher level of awareness? Because I need it in order to explore and find out who am I. It cannot be done half-heartedly, semi-consciously, half sleep, half fatigue, excited. No, it cannot be done. So these are the little orientational steps. So when we continue doing these steps regularly, mind reaches to a point. What it reaches to a point? Oh, who cares? Anxiety, you get out of it. Get out of my system. You reach to that stage of endurance and level of awareness where you can throw the anxiety and the fear out of your system whenever they come. That is the meaning. The knowledge is realized in stages. You cannot say, anxiety, I dare you enter and let me see how you can come. You cannot say now. So that is the meaning of the knowledge is realized in stages. So it has to be, our journey of this self-discovery has to be supported by a regular listening. One, orientation includes, I have a clarity about what is discernment so that I can separate who I am and who I am not. that results into an emotional sense of freedom instead of emotional dependence. So science says that we have to do the research unbiased. The moment you have a biased attitude, you're done. Then that research, that discovery is not done properly. Then it gives you the negative result. It cannot be universally applied. So same thing. We are doing the same thing. We are not saying believe me. We're not saying believe me. We are saying are you ready? Are you a seeker? Do you have gone the inner orientation? Are you doing the practice regularly? Does the practice is helping you in relaxing and calming down? Yes, but I forget the practice. Why you forget the practice? Because your mind is distracted somewhere. Your mind is impure. Mind is attracted to the anxiety. That's why you are not doing the practice. And you know that the practice is going to help you. So we put forth those arguments. We simply put the reason. We don't say that, no, believe me, because I have a long beard, that's why you will relax. we don't say that. We never say that. We don't say that there is a hell and heaven. We don't say that anxiety is your inherent nature. As the modern psychology says, we cannot change the nature. Anxiety belongs to the mind. You are not the mind. Look at this. Now, can you prove in your life that you are not the mind and whatever the contents are present in the mind, including the anxiety, is not you? You are already free. So I have to prove that. How I have to prove that? By knowledge, by practice, by experience, not by blind belief. So you are done. And that is where we enter into a level of awareness. You see that it is something like a monk was there in the forest. He used to meditate, and a woodcutter used to go to the forest, used to cut the log, the woods, used to sell. He was maintaining his life, livelihood. So one day, the monk was not in meditative state, and he saw it. He called the woodcutter and he said, "Go deeper into the forest." So you see that he has already answered. He has given a statement and he has already answered. So these monks always answer in a, you can say, a cryptic language. If the person, the seeker, does not open it, how the seeker can open it? By contemplation and reflection. How the contemplation and reflection works, I'm going to tell. So the woodcutter returned home and he talked to his wife and the kids. I met the monk and he blessed me. And then he said, go deep into the forest. So I have decided that today I will go deep into the forest. So he went deeper into the forest. See, this is the part of contemplation. Simply studying the books will not help you. That is why there's a master and a disciple tradition. Mm-hmm. So where the master talks. So you listen and learn. So he customizes, he personalizes. Why? Because he triggers your mind. And the book is not live. The book is not going to answer all your questions. The teacher is going to answer the questions. So anyhow, he went deeper into the forest and he found sandalwood trees. So he used to cut those sandalwood trees. He became a rich guy. You see how the Eastern wisdom of how the teaching of the Eastern wisdom works. So after a few months, everyone was sitting. Now we have become rich, and it becomes easy for us. And then he asked his wife, the monk said, go deeper into the forest. He never told me to stop. Oh, so I have to go a little deeper into the forest? Yes. That reflection, that knowledge is realized by a regular listening and learning, contemplation and practice. Because he was practicing. He was now going to the sandalwood trees. So he decided to go deeper than the sandalwood forest, and he went deeper. He found the silver mines. He found the silver mines. He became richer. He told his wife, I found the silver mines. Because monks said that never stop. He said simply go deeper into the forest. So that is the symbolic. Go deeper. Go deeper. Where?
How?
Inside. Inside. That's what I've been talking for the last 1 year, my dear friend. I've been giving you the talk and the practices. What the hell you are talking about? So anyhow, after a year, he found, again, they both were sitting together. Monk said, go deeper. He never said to stop. He found the gold mines and he found the diamond mines. He returned to the master. He touched his feet. He said, you're only one principle. This is how the principle of Eastern wisdom works. So, because if you are not contemplating and reflecting, you are not doing the practice, how can you move in deeper into the forest? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So what happens that masters are very clear. You know what happens that in the first year, I have read all these books. So I was good in Sanskrit language, and even though I was a science student, I have a fascination for physics, still physics. I'm very fascinated by the physics. I keep myself updated with the physics knowledge. I studied all those, so I used to interrupt my master. I know this is what the verse is. And he tolerated me for about a year or so. He called me once. He said, my son, I teach you what is not written in the books. You know, you have studied all the books, but when you learn and listen, you will be able to change your perspective. And that was the day I never objected. I realized my mistake, that whatever the talk, I still have almost 200 audio files in the DVD format. So when I find the time, I definitely listen to him. And every time I find something more. The way the woodcutter found, oh, my master told me go deeper. Monk told me to go deeper. He never told me to stop, to go inside. He found the diamond. What is that diamond? Diamond is the real self. Diamond is the real self. So I have to sit down. The way you sit, you make a project. You project your income. This is all contemplation and reflection in your professional life. Same way we have to do the same projection by contemplation and reflection in our journey of the self-discovery. Now see another why it happens. We have given you in the very beginning two practices. One is the self-awareness and second is the four-step relaxation practice. Then I went ahead, if I remember correctly. Yes, I have given you the synergy practice. I still remember. You gave that synergy practice to that Christina. You told me.
Yeah.
I don't easily forget these stuff, even though I have a lot of clients.
You're good.
so you too. Now see that you are doing the three practices regularly.
Yes.
No,
I'm not.
No, just take an example. You are doing it regularly, like a woodcutter.
Sure.
So what will happen to the mind? You are doing it regularly for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. 2 or 3 months, what will happen? One day you are physically tired. Your mind will instantly reflect and realize. First thing to do is do the synergy practice, which is only half an hour long, and that will help me relieve the physical discomfort and unease. It will only come by contemplation and reflection. It will only come when you are doing the regular practice. Now you return home and you feel a little bit mentally tired, not the physical. You say, okay, it's a 10 minutes of the practice. Let me do 4-step relaxation. It will only come by woodcutter. Continue. Go deeper into the forest. So that level of awareness is knowledge. Knowledge is realized in stages. When I say knowledge is realized in stages, because it comes by contemplation and reflection. So what happens to we teachers, first qualification of a teacher. I talked about the qualification of a seeker. Why shouldn't I talk about the qualification of a teacher? We are very much clear about this. The teacher is well versed with the different approaches by the masters of the Eastern wisdom. They are well versed with a selected group of the text. Third, they have realized what they speak. They have realized what they speak, and they continue to remain in the same state. Day before yesterday, I was in a restroom, and some thought popped up in the mind. So instantly, I could realize it has to do more with the ego. And I told the mind, are you crazy? Are you dropping it or not? And it dropped. The moment it dropped, I felt so much of calm and relaxation. Then I lied down on the bed, and then I said, no, I have to contemplate and reflect on this issue, why this has come. So my mind reflected, had this thought of an ego continued, it should have caused me a lot of anxiety and the worries. So now I could see where lies the darkness. Now I see. So when I see clearly where lies the darkness, I will not go there. I will not touch that area. This lack of awareness is present in us. This lack of awareness is known as ignorance. And that ignorance will only go away when we follow the experimentation as suggested by our masters. If you don't do the experimentation as suggested by the science, you cannot complete the experiment. So we don't talk of religion, we don't talk of blind faith. We say, are you clear? What I'm stressing, woodcutter, he picked up the point through the regular contemplation and reflection. He did not forget what the monk told him. He said, go deeper into the forest. So he first time he went deeper, he found sandalwood mines. Second time, he never forgot this. He went deeper, he found the silver mines, he found the gold mines, he found the diamond mines. He returned again with all the humility to the teacher. You have given me this formula. I never thought about it. Oh, you have already found the diamond. Now you don't need anything. You are also a teacher. Be light unto others. You have found the light. So the entire journey has a clarity. Entire journey has well-defined steps. The entire journey is 100% clear to the teacher. Teacher makes it clear to the seeker. Seeker has to be clear in himself or herself. If the seeker is not clear in himself and herself, then that seeker is not motivated. And the seeker is not motivated, then he will forget. The forgetfulness is ignorance. Forgetfulness causes the impurity. 3 steps. You see the 4 connections. You see 4 connections. Am I a qualified seeker? First connection. What is the subject matter? My subject matter is who am I? Then I will find out what is the world. Then I'll find out what is the existence. So the seeker says, then what will happen? Master says, then you will know how to think, speak, and act in peace, in happiness, in prosperity, in love, in wisdom all the time. That is why we have to know, who am I? No, but I forget sometimes. So the master says in that teaching that you remember that you are a seeker. So your main question is, who am I? So I'm talking to my dad and I'm angry. So am I angry? No. But if I'm angry, I'm a seeker? No. So I should not be angry. That will make me a seeker? Yes. You live in that awareness. You made me upset. No one can make me upset. Am I a seeker? Yes. If I realize that no one makes me upset. But to live into that awareness, we need 4-fold steps. You see, the systematic approach. I used to do research on asthma and diabetes and stress when I was working in a Fed government in India in their research department. I did the research for about 6-7 years. So I have to use the fixed variable. I have to find out the subjects. Oh, there are 50 subjects, means 50 people who have those challenges. Then I have to ask my team to observe all those areas. So the same way it works. So once we are clear about these first 2, am I qualified seeker? Yes. The subject matter is clear. And the third point is, what is the goal? Goal is twofold. End of suffering once and for all from my life. Second, awakening to inner peace and happiness. So how to reach to a state of mental maturity where I do not forget this goal and this connection? I have to do the 4-fold practices. What is the first practice? I should understand how the knowledge has to be attained. After all, if you study physics, the physics teacher tells you how to attain the knowledge of the physics. Same way. So what is the first criteria? First criteria is discernment. What is discernment? Discernment is to separate. What is to separate? You separate from the real and the unreal. So the seeker is asking, define unreal. That appears true but is not true. And what is real? That never changes. That is all pervading. That is present in all time, in all the locations. Oh, are you pointing to the real self? Yes. But how do you say that, what is false that appears true and not true? Is your body true or false? If it is changing constantly, it is false. But it does not mean if it is a false, you have a question. So if it does not mean, if it is a false, that I should reject and I should commit a suicide. It means that I am not the body. When I say I am not the home, it does not mean that I don't live in the home. I am not the car, it does not mean that I don't use the car. So the mithya, the false, why we should know that it is a false? Then I will remain attached to the body. Then the problem of the body will be the problem of me. Problem of the car will be the problem of me. Problem in the house will be problem of mine. But this house never chases me, car never chases me, the body never chases me. One day the body has to leave me. So it means I am different from the body. One example. So the knowledge has to be used. How? First we define. I tell you, one monk explained it beautifully. Tell the truth. Why? The truth never changes. Truth never changes. Remain silent. For what? What is untruth? There is no need to say that I saw the elephant flying in the sky. It doesn't. Non-existent. Tell a lie. What is tell a lie? I am the body. You just told me. Tell a lie. I am the body. Prove it. Correct the error. You start with I am the body. Correct the error. Be very clear that I am not the body. No, but how do I know that? Yeah, I am the body for all the, yes. I'm the body, yes. So that I am the body is present in the deep sleep. Yes, it is present in the deep sleep. But you don't recognize that you are the body in deep sleep. No, I don't recognize. It means I am not present in the deep sleep. Yes, I am not present in the... So how can you be the body? I can give you 5 examples. I am. Body is 5-year-old. I am is the same. Body is 10 years old. I am is the same inside. You are 20-year-old body. You are 30-year-old. Which body? I am is the same. I am is the same. How can I say that I am the body? How can I say? Did I tell you?
That's a wonderful example. I mean, it really is. But then what, like, I think for my mind, I'm so literal. I want to know, well, what is I am? What does that look like then? What is the real self? Like, what does that look like? I'm trying to, like, I think I'm trying, my mind is screwing it up because I'm trying to make it look like something. Like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah, you are learning alphabet and you want to, alphabet in physics, and you want to make an atom bomb.
Yeah.
So there is a big gap. Bridge this gap to reach there. That is one answer. Second answer, our mind, unless it is full of power of discernment and a dispassion, then only it can reflect and it can know what is real self. If you tell the kindergarten boy, do you want to play with atom bomb? Yes, Dad, please give me, I'm ready. No, not possible. Having said that, my dear friend, our mind has to become pure, highly receptive, has to live in higher awareness. Even having said that, real self is formless. Conceive. Tell me, what do you mean by formless? You cannot conceive now unless you treat the path. Knowledge is realized, you have entered into the gold mines, then only you can realize this diamond mine. Do you understand? Kindergarten to a guy who has done PhD, he's a scientist, and now he can make an atom bomb. So it is the mental level of awareness. So you're asking a good question, but I continue to do the practice. I raise my level of receptivity. I live into the higher awareness. Now the anger, anxiety, and the fears and the emotional dependence that I used to have is totally minimized, or it is gone. I live in an unbiased state. So when you live into that unbiased state, you can find the real self. No, I want to know now. I don't want to work anything. Is it possible?
No.
Is it possible? So you see that. Did I tell you this? 89-year-old women told me that, I'm 89-year-old. Did I tell you?
No.
Now see and that is why I'm exhausted. I told her. She has been with me. She is very much fascinated. At this age, if she is doing, obviously she is going to be awakened and realized in that. She has been with me for last many, many years. She says, no, once I will have one session a week. So every time she comes up, so she told me, I'm 89 years old and I'm tired. I said, how dare you say you are 89 years old? And she looked at me. Fact. My friend, check the fact. What are you saying? Am I not 89-year-old? I said, in one way, you are 89-year-old for the sake of the society, for the sake of your ID, for the sake of your Medicare, for the sake of your Social Security. Her husband died. Her husband was a professor in Princeton University. Now come to the main topic. Pay attention. Our mind should be that level of extraordinarily aware to find out. So I said, what your body is composed of? She is very wise. She says carbohydrate, protein, and fat. Very good. What my body is composed of? Oh, same thing, protein, carbohydrate, fat, minerals. So when you say that you are 89-year-old, is the protein present in your body is 89-year-old? Or the protein present in my body is 64-year-old? She said, no. I said, prove me that you are 89-year-old. Prove me. Whether you are 5-year-old or 89-year-old or 60-year-old, protein never is old. Carbs is never old. It is one amount, one fixed proportion created the body of a neck. One fixed proportion created created this beer guy, the body of the beer guy, and your body. How can you say you are 89-year-old? She laughed wholeheartedly and she said, it is the wrong notion. It is the point of ignorance. That is why we feel as if we start thinking in our mind that I'm 89-year-old, I'm 89-year-old, and then I cannot walk, then I cannot talk, then I'm exhausted. She told me, I said, this is what you have to live in wisdom. This is the meaning that you are living wisely. Today is Thursday. Yesterday, she met me and she was still laughing. You see that when I kept this thought throughout the day, she's living alone, and I felt so relaxed and calm. I was not exhausted. I did much more work at my home than the last week with that understanding, with that knowledge, with that awareness. Unless the woodcutter did not go deep into the forest, did not cut the sandalwood, did not work hard and return, that thought of going deep into the forest would not have arisen in his mind. He should not have discussed with his wife. So you see the systematic approach. I'm doing the regular practice. Leave everything. What I want in my life. Complete end of suffering. An awakening to permanent peace and happiness. These two things I want. Eastern wisdom shows you the clear path. But our mind is attracted to the world outside. Let me get exhausted. Why I'm exhausted? Because I will be in peace and happiness tomorrow. That tomorrow never comes. I have time to be exhausted, to be anxious, to be scared by engaging myself completely in the world. And I don't have a time. Which clearly indicates, without any blind faith or belief, that here is a way you can awaken yourself completely. You can awaken to permanent peace and happiness. You can bring an end to this suffering. There is no need to be awfully busy to become awful. Not to be emotionally engaged, create an emotional dependence that causes the anxiety and the fear and the stress and the suffering. But still we are doing it. Why we are doing it? Oh, I enjoy stress. I enjoy being unhappy. So these thoughts must be yours.
Yeah.
When these thoughts are yours, your mind changes. Mind changes, you are going deeper into the forest. So the entire system is there. System is already in place. So when we follow the system in place, each step by step, we don't miss the step. I told you see that? This old woman, this 89-year-old, she laughs now. For the last two sessions, she meets me and she says, "No, I still remember. You told me how dare you are 89-year-old." So then she told me, for the sake of ID, I am 89. But because I'm not the body, so I'm ageless. She came out. I said, "This is wow. It means you remember what I taught you a couple of years back." She remained completely with that understanding. When you see her, you will find out she doesn't look like even 50 or 60 years old. In these years, she has been practicing. Yeah. Today she attends the group session, so she was saying after, you see that, I open your audio and I start listening to it, and I felt as if my body has merged with the bed and I'm somewhere in the space. I said, hold on to this experience. That is, one experience gives you a glimpse of what is real self. Unless the mind gets rid of the idea that real self, something to do, has a name and the form and the color. This must go away from the mind to live in higher awareness, to find the real self. My